Welcome to SV 67D Principles of Management 1. My name is Felicia Freedied and Aqua. I'll be taking you through those units. Unit 2, Development of Management Theory. We're going to focus our discussion on the quantitative school, and by the end of the session, you should be able to explain the basic assumptions of the quantitative school, distinguish between the operations research and the management science, and then outline some common contributions and weaknesses of the management science as well. So the quantitative school had two main things in there: the operations research and then the management science. And when it comes to operations research, the operations research was actually came up by Frederick Taylor, Henry Gant's work, which was a group of scientists who called operations research team, and they wanted to actually develop mathematical methods and models when it comes to countering enemy like other competitors and things. So they helped managers actually make decisions through the development of formal mathematical models to solve problems. And the common areas that they looked at were usually the introduction of quantitative methods to industry by Robert and then Charles in that era too. They enabled managers in formulating various mathematical models for decision making. The complicated nature of some of these techniques was one challenge that came up as well. So when it comes to operations research, the operations research actually believed in the fact that if we want to make decisions, we should be able to understand what we're working with. And they believe that when it comes to having a formal mathematical model, that gives you more objectivity and it gives you solid stance to make your decisions based on it. However, some of the techniques were a bit complicated, and that was around that time too where the computers had come in and all those things. And so most people were then moving to the quantitative school, which is basically dealing with numbers in there as well. And so the operations research, what they came up with, they were then formalized into what they call the management science. So after the war, the issues that the operations team found, because the operations team was actually by a research by the British people, to find some solutions to some problems they were encountering. And so all of those ones were then formalized into what they call the management science school, which is currently used. And around that time too, like I made mention earlier, computers were also coming into the system, and so these were things that were coming up at that time. Some of the limitations of the management science was that, like I said, these were mostly mathematicians, physicians, and co who were coming together, and they believed in the objective models, using mathematical models and all those things to solve problems of the businesses and all those ones. And so a lot of the managers felt these were too mathematical in nature, and so it was complicated for ready understanding and use. You can imagine for someone who has little or weak background in mathematics, and then that person goes in there and you need to be able to do all those calculations to find a solution, and then you'll be able to make decision. Okay, because this is that, this means that, this means that. And not everybody likes numbers or mathematics, and so it was a bit challenging and hard. Management science is inadequate for dealing with psychological and behavioral aspects of the workplace. So yes, when it comes to psychological and behavioral aspects in the work activities, when it comes to dealing with people and things, sometimes math does not apply there. It's not everything that mathematics can equally or realistically capture or solve in there. So these are some of the limitations of the management science approach. But don't forget that this theory has helped us. Today we still learn quantitative methods and things, which is because of some of these things that have helped us. So these are fundamental building blocks which has helped in the understanding and appreciation and the running of businesses today, making them more effective and efficient as well. So in this session, we looked at the quantitative school of management, where we looked at their basic assumptions and what made them do well, what didn't do well with them as well. So we know that obviously people had issues with the mathematics. They felt it was too mathematically inclined, and some aspects of the business was not being captured properly with the mathematics issues that came up. So I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.